He is the most decorated sound engineer in all of the history of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Mr. Dave Tucciarone. I mean, if you think of any local artist,
I have a list. Justin Young, Typical Hawaiian, Street Plus, Nightwing, Tropical Nights,
Kaylee Raichel, John Cruz, Ernie
Palani
Cruz,
Vaughn,
Napalapalai.
John Yamasato.
Sometimes you gotta step it down a little bit.
10 feet, Ekolu, I mean, Uncle Willie K, Ernie Cruz, the list goes on and on.
Well, music was first, you know. I grew up 30 miles from New York City, and once I got the bug, it was all over. Yeah, I was 16, and I was already out playing in bars, you know. And
When did you decide to move out to Hawaii?
And so I applied to UH Hilo.
Oh,
and that was the first place I lived when I came to Hawaii.
Oh my
God! It was not in Hilo. It was in Pahoa. So I absolutely loved it, and that was my first introduction to Hawaii. And I remember at the time hearing like the Beamer Brothers and Sunday Manoa, and hearing and C&K, and getting a good taste of what the music was in the islands in Olomana, and it was like, wow. That's really some pretty good stuff. Yeah. And I came really right in that golden time, that Renaissance, right?
That was the best time.
I had met my biological father when I went back to New York after Hawaii, and he was a great guy, and called me up one day and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just went to learn blah, 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 and I'm hoping to get to work with this tape machine that this church has." And he says, "Well, what could you do if you had that tape machine?" And he loaned me enough money to open Fortunate Son Studio. I had that studio for 8 years, and that's where I met everybody. An engineer is a technician. The engineer knows which mic to use, where to put it, where to set it up. It's more than one mic, how to mic a drum kit, how to mic a guitar amp, how to use the recording equipment, how to use the console if there's a console, and what all these knobs and buttons do. The producer may know that too. Maybe the producer is a producer/engineer, but the producer is mainly responsible for the creative aspect of the recording and working with the artist to get the best expression of their music. And the producer may know enough about the engineering side to suggest to the engineer, well, why don't you maybe put that mic over here, because that's his own tech or her own technique, right? What eventually evolved was the producer/engineer, where that's mainly what engineers are now. It's so hard
to keep it separate, right? Yeah. Because artists consistently will go, "What did you think, Dave? Did that sound okay?" And now you're producing.
Yeah, well, exactly right.
So the producer's the one who goes, "That take wasn't good, do it again."
Yeah, they don't realize they're getting the equipment and an engineer. They're not getting a producer. So you're not going to get
the feedback.
Yeah, the feedback that you want to get. And an engineer is not even really required to do that, nor even should they, if they're not, into production. My thing about producing, if people come to me and they're paying me money, I tell them, I'm not here to tell you how good you are. You have friends and family to do that, and a significant other. They're going to tell you just how great you are all the time. You came to me because you want to know what it is that you can improve and do better. And I said, this is never ever about ego. As a matter of fact, leave your ego outside the door. This is about us working together to find the best solutions to make your music sound as good as it can sound. I'm very particular because I want people to sound good, so I'll give them homework and I'll send them home, and I'll have them go through the song and say, all right, sing this. All right, maybe we can try this instead of that. And I ask them, what do you think of that? I say, okay, take this track, learn this, like this, come back to me and let me produce you singing this way.
So sometimes you'll just stop a session and go, wait, John, you know what, here's some homework for you to come back tomorrow.
They scared me because that's what Dave was known for, was like, oh, if you don't sing, Dave's going to send you home, I was like, really? They're like, oh yeah, he's super strict. So
I think Right-Tail was telling us a story like
Right-Tail,
that.
Right? So I was kind of scared to go in and record with Dave because I thought, oh man, this guy's just going to pick me apart and send me home.
I've been in a couple studios now watching, and oh my God, for me, it's like paint drying. The things that you're hearing, because I sat in with Justin when he was recording with Sean, and they were recording Imu Garza. I've told this story before. It was Imu was doing a solo that was, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, if that. And I sat there for like 45 minutes while they stop. And they go, okay, back that up. Okay, Imu, can you do that a little more bluesy? He does this thing, and Justin goes, okay, that's good. Okay, now do this a little bit faster, and then that like take off the blues a little bit. And I mean, I give you more credit. Every time it was different. Every take was different.
He's
but it was making me nuts because I sat there for about 45 minutes. I went, yeah, I gotta go, you guys.